My name is Amirtha Kidambi, and I'm a musician, I'm a vocalist and an improviser, and also I consider myself an organizer and an educator, and all of those things are part of a whole. The project that I'm working on at Pioneer Works in Brooklyn, New York, is called Outernational. And the idea of Outernational, like the first time I encountered this term, was a friend of mine had mentioned it and said, it's Ryuichi Sakamoto, the composer, pianist. It's a term that he used to kind of describe this idea of musicians and music as borderless. So like that musicians are not like with the state or nationalities, and especially at a time like when he was sort of thinking of these things at the explosion of neoliberalism and globalization, and sort of like thinking of international as this very like commerce-oriented idea, and outernational is sort of like an alternative. It's more thinking about these things in a humanist way. And I feel like right now, borders, they feel very life or death. They dictate so much about our lives. And the real root of this idea came up as I was on tour, especially in 2023 and 2024. It was one of the more fraught times in my life that I've ever encountered in trying to make music that was speaking to socially conscious or politically conscious issues. And so in traveling around the world and playing music and speaking very specifically against the genocide in Gaza, but also just more generally about how so many different struggles are linked, I was starting to just encounter a lot of intense interactions in different countries. But then at the same time, when I was, backstage with other artists like from all over the world, like from the global south, we would have these like incredible conversations. And a lot of these conversations were about kind of the state of the world, the state of things, like what's going on in where they live, or what we're dealing with where we live, or what's happening in the Sudan or in Palestine. And they were very inspiring often, but they were very like short-lived. But I was like, I don't want to just have these sort of little bits and pieces of 5-minute talks that I can think to myself about. First of all, I want to share some of the things that I've learned when, I'm having these conversations, or the ideas that they've sparked, or how they have inspired me.
And that's how I be feeling, like you just looking at me, staring at me, you want to see me do this thing that you're fascinated, and you're just looking at us. It's almost like you want to eat us or consume us.
Yeah.
You don't know that you're doing that, and I don't know how to tell you. I don't know what to tell you, but when y'all do that, I don't like it. So does that mean that you can't come and enjoy and admire Black people's music? Because I know you're coming out there out of admiration, but there's also this energy that I'm like, go away.
I want to have extended conversations with artists, like maybe even some of those same artists that I met in the last year and a half, and go deeper into their work, whether they're activist organizers directly or their music is sort of socially engaged, and also offer that as a document of this time that we're living in, and also as inspiration or a resource for people who are like not sure what to be doing in this moment.
Even if 0 people also quitted Twitter, and if 0 people quit Spotify, fine. We don't want to be on it, you know? And we can't sleep at night, and that's priority 1.
For me, music is such a easy and beautiful way in, rather than it being like political. It's really, we're talking about people, we're talking about human rights, we're talking about basic values or the earth, and like how we're going to sustain and survive on this planet. These things aren't political to me. They're kind of deeply human, and music is one of those ways that we really connect with our humanity, both as a listener on your own or collectively at a concert. So I'm kind of trying to use the framework of music to talk about these other ideas to artists who I think have had similar thoughts and can share them with me and other people. If you want to hear me talk to artists like Angel Bat-Dawid about her music and education work in Chicago, or Deerhoof's co-founder and drummer Greg Saunier on global capitalism and why they quit Spotify, you can subscribe and follow on Substack at Amirtha Kidambi under Outernational and on most streaming platforms, maybe not Spotify.